I'd like to call the meeting to order, council meeting June 20th, 2019. Madam Clerk. I'd like to just make a couple of comments. Some of the council had asked me to give a little bit of an update of what we've been working on and over the past month. We've been working with Blue Flash and Meyer Engineering with a lot of situations in the city that we believe are attributing a lot to the water table being so high for so long. If you guys remember, in 2013, we had a lot of sinkholes. So we pulled out the water table charts from 2013 and compared them to 2017. In 2013, the water table was anywhere between 13 to 15 feet, and it went up and down. However, in the past 3 months here, the water table has been at 17 feet, almost constant. So what's really been going on is that any pipe exposure or any problem that we've been having, we've been seeing water infiltration into. As the water infiltration comes in, it exposes all the problems and then, generally tends to make them worse. And so our main concern at this point is Wilson Street. We've had 2 water lines break on Wilson Street that the parish has helped us repair. We've had a sewer line also break in tandem with that water line that the parish of Jefferson actually came and helped us out. Paul Johnson, again, was there for us and saved the city $44,000 on that fix. So I'm really, really appreciative of that, but we've been dealing with that. We have a couple of priority issues right now also that we're dealing with. Lift Station 5 back in Harahan Oaks. Basically, the only thing holding it in the air is the pipe. There's no ground underneath it anymore, so that will become #1 priority. Wilson Street will be #1 priority B. We're having a meeting tomorrow to discuss the progress and the future of that plan. And the situation truly there is that the company who came in and did the work prior didn't do a very good job. So now it's going to become a legal issue, and so we're at the point right now we're filming pipe, we're examining pipe. We have 2 massive sinkholes, one in someone's backyard, and the one on Wilson that you guys see all of the barricades around, and then we have another one forming on the corner of Roseland and Wilson as well. We're watching those with everything we got. We're paying attention. So at that, I've asked the councilman to come in and start helping me, be a part of other situations that we in the city. So you'll see us start to be all over the place, looking at different things, trying to just get an idea of what's happening and prioritizing. Thank goodness the river had crested. So that's going to be on its way out, and so we'll just start, prioritizing and fixing the problems as we go. And that's just kind of about where we've been at. We've been getting, tons of letters. We've received all your correspondence, and we are working on them. And please continue to correspond, because sometimes we really don't know what's happening because we're so preoccupied with something that is requiring our immediate attention. And we want to make sure that we get you on the list and make sure we get you prioritized and get your problem taken care of.
The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain, and it's proposed ordinance number 2019-19, an ordinance to place stop signs on Gordon Avenue at the corners of 7th Street.
Moved.
All right, do we have a motion to amend the agenda? Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is now amended.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, viewing public. Tim Walker, Harahan Police Chief. Last month I reported about somebody had a phone call about the Harahan Police called them that they had an arrest warrant for them and they wound up withdrawing money and going in town and buying a Bitcoin. I had a call the other day that it happened to a resident in one of the surrounding parishes. Same thing. So all I can tell you is you get these phone calls. I even get them all day long on my cell phone, any kind of scam. Whatever you do, please don't send them any money. Well, again, why would IRS or a public utility company want a Best Buy debit card or a gift card? And that's some of the things that people are doing. Just if you don't know who the people are, hang up on them. Don't entertain them. I mean, it goes on all day long, and apparently they're making a lot of money off of it, or they wouldn't continue the way doing it. Also, remember, school's out, drive safely. People realize that on the side streets, our speed limits are 20 miles an hour, also on Colonial and Riverside Drive or River Road. Hickory is 30 miles an hour, and Jefferson Highway, the most part of it is 40 miles an hour. So drive safely and look out for the kids. We still have the problem with the address numbers on your homes and your business places. Please, when you go home, check to make sure that all the numbers are there, they're in the right order, and that they are visible from the street. It helps first responders on an emergency call find your location. Time is of an essence in most cases. So, again, if you see something, say something, dial 911. Thank you.
And resolutions, there are no resolutions tonight. And ordinances for approval. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Johnston. Proposed ordinance number 2018-26. An ordinance granting a franchise to MCI Metro Access Transmission Corporation doing business as Verizon Access Transmission Services to lay, maintain, and operate a fiber optic transmission cable for the transmission of telephonic data and other electronic messages in, on, and or across public places or ways, and prescribing conditions and limitations.
I'd like to make a motion to pull this ordinance.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Chatelain to withdraw ordinance number 2018-26. Do I have a second for discussion?
Yeah, so we've been talking to Verizon, or this subsidiary of Verizon, over the past couple of months, and we are working to deal with them. But in the meantime, we have also rewritten, as you'll see in the if you'll see in the packet later, we've rewritten our right-of-way franchises for our ordinances, and so this ordinance, which is agreement with them, is going to be pointless.
It's going to be rewritten, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be
So we keep-
completely rewritten. So instead of just deferring this, we're going to withdraw it.
Well, we keep deferring it. We just decide we're going to pull it, it'll come back up as first reading, and come back up as a new ordinance when it's time.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-11. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Johnston. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harahan to provide for the imposition of charges for recycling services.
I'm going to make a motion to pull this ordinance also.
Same thing. If
Proposed ordinance number 2019-12. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Johnston. An ordinance to impose for 6 months a moratorium on the re-subdivision, rezoning, and/or issuance of permits for construction or placement of building structures on property within a portion of the City of Harahan known as JW Colonial Estates.
Council discussion?
I'd like to start off with, I appreciate Ms. Sue coming up talking. I'm not sure, I drive by there a lot. One thing we got to remember, we talked about earlier, is the river's up. If you have a pond and the water table's up, that water's coming up in that pond, that close to the levee. Also, I'm not sure about what you're saying about the 3-foot levee around the property. I do see the fronts mounded up, by Jefferson Highway, which I think was done intentionally so the water would flow back to the ponding area. I met out there with engineers, and I believe they told me it was built up so the water would flow back into the ponding areas. The ponding areas, I believe, are designed to be dry. Now, they're not going to be 100% dry. In the middle of the ponding areas, there's a small area which is going to stay wet, which kind of runs like a little creek from one ponding area to the other ponding area. And that's going to stay wet. I'm hoping in the future they put like a little walk path over that, but of course, construction's going on and you don't want people walking through all this construction area right now anyway. But I believe one of your reasons you're noticing your water's up a little bit is because of the river so high, and I also believe that, and I say I believe this, I met with some engineers out there, not just their engineers, we had city engineers we've met and spoke with about these issues. The water's designed to where it's going to go into the pond. The pond's going to come up, and then the water's going to drain out through the front at a slower pace. So basically, the water's going to retain in the pond and have a smaller pipe to drain it out to Jefferson Highway. That's going to relieve a bunch of the water on Jefferson Highway immediately. I am also going to say that we had some tremendous downpours recently. I want to say we had 2.5 inches of rain in an hour and a half, according to my rain gauge. And I noticed we had some tremendous downpours recently. I think they still have a lot of work to do with the retention ponds and stuff, but I think they're on the right track, but I'm not sure about the 3-foot wall. I'm confused about that. I never noticed that, and that wasn't discussed anywhere with any of the engineers, so I'd love to meet with you and go look at it, see where we could see, you know. I believe we can make a request to have them come do a drainage study and do a presentation here. But I believe, I mean, I can't guarantee it could be at the next meeting. We need to, I mean, we could ask for it, but I mean, we got to kind of give it at their convenience too. I mean, they might be able to schedule it for that time, but I can't promise you that. But I believe we'll make a request to see if we can have that happen. Thank you.
To address another issue, specifically, the city's engineer is going to review the developer's retention pond plan. And I believe he's already started that, but I don't believe he's completed it. So yes, it will be reviewed by a third party representing the city.
The purpose of this, of even proposing this moratorium on my part, was so that I specifically could get a better grasp on everything that's going on in Colonial between the agreements and the memorandums of understanding and what the developers are wishing to do and what's going on right now. And so I've had that time, and I've had meetings with both Mr. Cody, Jack Capella, the engineers out on the property, including our engineer, Rick Meyer. And I am comfortable that with the instruments that we have in place, we can restrict their further development without this moratorium. And I'll just go ahead and ask him because he's here. Mr. Ducote, do you think we can get a drainage presentation for the next meeting?
Probably not, but I can address one concern. We're not near finished.
Mr. Come to the mic.
We're not near complete with the drainage. The High River prohibits any excavation within 1,500 feet of the river. And we got rained out. We lost 128 days worth of rain. So the excavation contractor was delayed. We got pushed back over Christmas, and then we had more rain. And then the river came up, and we can't dig yet. We have to finish digging. We have to connect the ponds. We have to put the swales in. We're not even close. And what levee that you see is extra spoil that we haven't moved around because we can't move it, because we can't work on it, because the Corps won't let us. We call the Corps every week. Please, can we dig? I have another project downtown I can't dig. So we're not finished. If there's any problem, it'll happen later, but we're not even close to finished. And we're working on it with our engineer and the city's engineer, and we're going to satisfy the drainage requirements that we're supposed to.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So with all of that said, I'm going to withdraw this ordinance, knowing that I think the current instruments we have are sufficient enough to restrict further development without them letting us know.
So proposed ordinance number 2019-12 is withdrawn.
Proposed ordinance number 2019-14. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman. Who would like to second this ordinance?
I'll second.
Johnston. An ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the establishment of procedures, terms, and conditions managing the occupancy and use of public right-of-way by providers of telecommunication services.
So this is an ordinance that I talked about earlier, and it is 30 pages long. And so to give the council and the public more time to consider it, it's not time sensitive right now because we're still waiting on contract negotiations with Verizon. To give them more consideration, I'm just going to defer this to the next meeting.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-15. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman
I'll second.
Wheeler.
Wheeler?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 1866, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019, for the City of Harahan, Louisiana.
Okay, you want to talk?
Yeah, I just want to explain something real quick, because I know it's on Facebook, and y'all bring it up today that it's tax dollars. This isn't tax dollars. This is money that comes from gambling in Jefferson Parish. OTBs, all that kind of stuff, video poker, Jefferson Parish gets. So it is not tax dollars. It's money that is being spent with gambling. And it gives a discretionary fund to the districts of Jefferson Parish, and they can in turn turn some of the money over to municipalities and stuff like that. So this is not tax dollars. That's all.
I'll go. I want to explain to you about used fire trucks. The city cannot purchase a used fire truck. They do have a truck that Jefferson Parish has that we're inquiring about them donating to the city. The city cannot purchase a used equipment. We can't purchase used cars. It's not something that we can do. So they do have a fire truck that we're looking at getting donated to us through their surplus. But also, on another note, the request was made for this money for a fire truck. So if we go buy new breathing equipment and we don't have a truck to get to your house with the breathing equipment, what good's the breathing equipment?
Right.
So I believe we're moving forward in a positive way. 300,000 is just a small piece of a fire truck. I mean, I believe we were looking fire trucks of 600 to
Plus.
a million plus. So I believe we're looking into that, and we're going to go out for bids, and hopefully we can find a state bid or something that we could work on this. Maybe we could work on a state grant to help pay for a little bit of this, but this is the first step to get in the door to getting a new fire truck. I'm still checking to see, but I heard that fire trucks, after so long, we need to pull them out of commission. You know, so do we want to go spend money, even if we could, which I believe we can't, to go buy a used fire truck that only has 5 years left on commission, you know, before it's got to be decommissioned? I don't think that's a smart move. So if we could get a new truck and it lasts 25 years, I would think that would be the better move. Somebody came up and said, you know, if I can't afford something at my house, I don't buy it. I don't go into debt to buy it. We're looking at other ways to find funds to pay for this. But if my air conditioner went out at my house, I'm going in debt to get it replaced. You know, if our fire truck's broke and we can't get to a fire call, we're going in debt to get a fire truck. Thank you.
Okay, my turn? All right, I know that sometimes we take political sides here, and not everybody is the biggest fan of Councilman Johnson, and that's okay, because that's our right as Americans. However, this guy has found $300,000 to give it to us for a fire truck. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not gonna be the one. We're gonna work hard, we're gonna go figure it out, just like Councilman Chatelain said. Also, one thing that he failed to mention is that our trucks are about to be out of service. Even the used truck is gonna be out of service very soon. These trucks take a year to be built and delivered, maybe a little longer. So by the time we get this new truck in, we'll have no fire trucks in service to begin with, other than the used fire truck for the one that we borrowed from the parish. And as far as the equipment goes, I do believe that we have, that Councilman Johnston, again, has got $75,000 coming for accessories to put on his fire truck, which we're gonna spend on breathing equipment. Also, someone made the comment of, wow, this money could go to streets. Well, guess what? Councilman Johnston's giving us $250,000 for streets too. I mean, I don't care how indifferent you are to Councilman Johnston. What he's doing for this city is amazing, and I love his help, and I am so grateful. I'm so grateful as a citizen, and I can't thank him so much. And that's it.
Let's call for the vote.
All right. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2019-14. All in favor?
15.
I'm sorry, 15, 2019.
A motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you very much.
Proposed ordinance number 2019-16. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1866, the annual budget revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019, for the city of Harahan, Louisiana.
Council discussion?
Just to clarify, this is for the $250,000 for street repairs
Thank you,
from Jefferson
Councilman
Parish.
Johnson.
$250,000.
Is the streets listed?
Is that all for council discussion? All right, do I have a motion to take the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you. Madam
All
Clerk?
right, ordinances for introduction. Proposed ordinance number 2019-17. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman, who would like to take it? Re-subdivision. Wheeler.
Will.
An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 131 Oakland Avenue, Lot 45A, Block 2, Markham Heights subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Ronald Clement, dated April 5th, 2019. And proposed ordinance number 2019-18. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman, who would like to do this?
I'll take it.
Chatelain. An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 404 Oak Avenue, Lot 43A, Square N1, Harahan City Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Katori, dated March 20th, 2019.
2019.
Yeah. Proposed ordinance number 2019-19. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by not yet. An ordinance to place stop signs on Gordon Avenue at the corners of 7th Street. And we have no old business. New business number 1. Ms. Judy Roman, on behalf of St. Rita of Cassia Parish, would like assistance in planning the annual Feast of Corpus Christi procession scheduled for Sunday, June 23rd, after 11:30 a.m. Mass by providing barricades and a police escort around the block.
Do I have a motion to grant permission?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Bodie. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Chief, you gotta come.
I'm sorry, Chief. I'm going here. Jump in, I'm sorry, dude.
New business number 2. The members of the St. Rita Knights of Columbus, 375 Oak Avenue, respectfully request permission to sell beer and wine at Bingo on Saturday, July 6th, from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m.
We good, by the way, have oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't think we have a problem. Do we know the location of this?
This is at St. Rita.
At St.
Oh,
Rita, yeah.
that's
So
it.
it's not at Oak Avenue. I just wanted to make sure we
Correct.
get that
Yeah.
cleared. That it's gonna be at St. Rita Gym. I just didn't want, I wanted to make sure it was publicly known that it's not gonna be at Oak Avenue.
Move to grant permission.
Councilman Asbill moves to grant permission. All in favor?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
who
5 yeas,
seconds?
0
I'll
nays.
second.
Oh, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Permission's granted.
All right, new business number 3, Official Journal, 2019-2020.
Okay, the New Orleans Advocate will be the official journal for July 19th through July 20th.
Through July 2020.
I mean, so through July 2020.
Stats for the Harahan Police Department for May 2019. We had 777 calls for service, 12 auto accidents. We issued 200 citations for 237 different charges, 13 patrol requests, 5 narcotics arrests, 6 charges, 1 was felony, 1 misdemeanor, and 4 city. Other arrests were 39 for 54 charges. We had 4 felony, 34 misdemeanors, 9 city, and 7 traffic. No murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglaries, 1 motor vehicle theft, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 5 larceny thefts, and 6 assaults. Again, see something, say something, call 911. Thank you.
Chief St. Cyr is absent. Councilman Asbill?
Not much. Happy 4th of July.
Councilman Bodie?
Same, happy 4th of July, be safe.
Councilman Chatelain?
Well, I have a few things. Lady got up early and was talking about retirees and fixed incomes. It's tough for people on fixed incomes. I've explained before. Lady behind me lives off $600 a month. I really don't know how she does it. You know. On another note, we're going to talk about fixed incomes. You know, some people aren't on a fixed income. Some people don't know what they're going to make every month. Some people don't make $600 a month. So we understand it's a burden on people to pay these bills. But we also understand, you know, sit here and say, you know, my health insurance went up, this went up, this went up, this went up. So did the city's bills. They all went up too. The lady got up here and she says, it's hard to balance a budget. She's right, it's hard. So you got to move money, shift money from one line item to another, and that's things that's going to happen, and it's hard to do, and it takes time. Everybody here wants the same thing. They want the best for Harahan. We go about it different ways, and I believe we are moving Harahan positive way. We're moving forward in a positive way. Ms. Lisa asked a lot of questions as she left, but I was going to try to answer some of them. The firehouse inspection. The firehouse inspection happened, I think, 2 days ago. We waiting on a report from the engineer. The reason it happened 2 days ago, because we had other issues in the city. Sinkhole issues. We had the engineers tied up on Wilson Street. We're working. We have a meeting called tomorrow to discuss this. We believe the river up is causing a lot of our problems. We believe Jefferson Parish water lines causing a lot of our sewer problems. That's going to be a thing we got to try to figure out and battle with engineers and stuff. I mean, they know the most if you ask them. We have water lines breaking. We have sewer lines breaking. They're saying the sewer line's causing the water line to break. We're saying the water line's causing the sewer line to break. What came first, the egg or the chicken? So we're going to fight this battle, and we're going to do it, and it's not something that happens overnight. And I'm assuming Miss Lisa wasn't here earlier for when we talked about used fire trucks. She came in, spoke, and left. And I know she'll watch this. That's why I'm going to answer. I do not believe the city can purchase used equipment. We can have equipment donated to us from the parish, from other municipalities, things like that, and we're looking at that. Other municipalities in the parish, they have a lot more money than we do, and they get rid of their equipment a lot earlier than we do. We did purchase a fire truck when Ms. Butero was working here. That's the same fire truck we're using now. It's about out of commission. Do I think it's still in great shape? Yes, I do. Am I being told they only can be commissioned for 25 years? That's what I'm being told. I'm looking into that. I don't know if that's true. I don't have the facts on that. I'm checking into that. I know, like they said, some residents went to the fire station, did their own report. And I believe some of this stuff's going to get fixed real quick. We're not going in there to spend money to fix these ceiling tiles until the roof's fixed. I don't want to waste the taxpayers' money. Can we go in there and change ceiling tiles for $700? Yes, we can. And that's why we're working on getting the professionals to tell us what needs to be done to that equipment before we just go in there and do it. Can I change the ceiling tiles? Yes. Can I fix the roof? No, I cannot. Can I fix the air conditioning? No, I cannot. But we're working with professionals. We're going to get these answers, and we're going to see how we're going to shift money around in this budget to make these repairs. We all want the most for the fire department. We all want the most for the city. And I think we're moving forward to do that. And feel free to call me at any time with any questions. I mean, I'd love to have a question before this meeting. That way when you get here at the end of the meeting, I can have that answer for you. Some answers I'm not going to have right away. But feel free to call me on my cell phone. I mean, that's the best way to get me. And my number is 416-7807. Thank you.
Councilman Johnston?
Well, you answered pretty much all the stuff, but the only one I can speak on right now, since you answered a lot of them, was the contract she brought up about being online. Well, we are currently going through a whole online website revamp, and so that's why they're not being updated on a timely manner right now. And they did have ordinance I put in place on my first term that made it where you had to put it online, but it gave a stipulation where to cover instances like this, where the internet, the website's being worked on, and it allows you to have a little leeway, so when it gets back up and running, those will be back online. Other than that, I think Eric did a good job answering all that other stuff, and just happy 4th of July.
Councilman Wheeler?
Just happy 4th of July. This is what, can I go first next time?
That's what we're going to do. We'll let you go first.
This is what happens to me.
As Councilman Johnson said, we are working on updating the website. This is something that both I and prior mayor both agree on, that the website was not very user-friendly. So it's one thing that we agreed on in 4 years. So we are revamping it. We want to make it easier. We're actually looking at a new program that will allow you to go online as well and even work with, your computer as we're doing here. So we're trying to look at that two ways. One, to get more information out to you, and two, try to start eliminating paper. We believe, and we've done some studies on this, that we think if we can take our websites, on our agendas online and work from online and our projection board, in fact, that we can save somewhere around $16,000 a year in paper. Every penny is counting right now. Every penny, every single cent. And I got to tell you, I'll always tell you how proud I am of this council and my staff. But this week, we had so many problems on Wilson, and I know we keep saying Wilson, but it's a tough situation, and we're seeing sinkholes everywhere. But I reached out to each of these councilmen this week, and I'm telling you, and we each took a different section of what we think. Councilman Chatelain took the problems now. Councilman Wheel is helping me look on pieces of property that Harahan owns that we don't need to own. Little servitudes that we're gonna end up selling, trying to get that money back into the budget, and we don't have to maintain that property. Councilman Buddy and Councilman Asbill are working with me on the, on Colonial and the Verizon agreement. Those are big deals, because, just for instance, public service companies like Verizon think they can just come drive whatever they want through our ground without our permission. And that just can't be the case. I'm working, I'm working with Kelly with Blue Flash, who has seen it several times in New Orleans, where Cox has just driven lines right through the sewer lines. We've actually had this instance in our backyard. Councilman Chatelain's alluding to that AT&T set a pole on top of sewer line, and they're trying to argue with me, telling me that 1,000+ pole didn't have anything to do with that sewer line. I'm like, are you kidding me? We drove it. It's only 6 feet in the ground, and our sewer lines are 11. That is a lot of pressure and a lot of pounding on top of that line. We're dealing with that as well right now. So these guys have really stepped up to the plate. Councilman Johnson doesn't know it yet, so I'm going to let him know tonight that he will be working with me on upgrading the senior center and getting the senior center going. And so I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud to be on this council. I'm proud to be on this team. For a better Harahan team, Harahan, right?
When people have the microphone past y'all stuff, why can't you answer?
Well, I'll tell you why, and I'll let you have this. Because sometimes it's really not about, if we ask questions and they're good, pertinent questions, we don't mind answering. But when it becomes an attack situation, we're not gonna stoop to that level.
It ends up in an argument.
Yeah, it just ends up in an argument. And who wins that?
So she asks questions, I'll write my question down, I'll answer them in my written.
I forgot what she asked.
Thank goodness. Good for you. Then you didn't lose, didn't you? Then you're gonna have a wonderful night. We're going over to my brother's bar if you want to come with us.
We still on camera.
All right, bills paid in May. Total expenditures, $566,465.89.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. 5 yeas, 0 nays. Meeting is now adjourned.